This is Joe Carpenter. Today is March the 3rd, 2021, and I am interviewing Claudia Pink for the first time. This interview is taking place at the UTA Library in Arlington, Texas, and this interview is sponsored by the College of Liberal Arts and is part of the Maverick Veterans Voices Project. Welcome, and thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
We're so glad to have you. Where are you from originally, and what can you tell me about your growing up?
I was born in DeKalb, Texas. It's in northeast Texas, close to Texarkana. And I grew up on a farm. I had with my two brothers and three sisters. It was 6 children and my parents. And my parents raised cucumbers and tomatoes for the market. And so we worked in the field picking those. And and did other farm work. And we had cows and pigs. And so grew up on the farm.
So where did you go to high school?
I went to DeKalb High School in DeKalb, Texas.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Well, I started out at elementary Marvin Pines school, and then when they integrated, we went over to DeKalb High School.
I see. Okay. And what year was that?
That we went to DeKalb?
Yeah, I'm not trying to put you on the spot.
I graduated from DeKalb High School in 1972, but
Okay.
I guess I started over when they integrated about 1967.
I see. Okay. And were you involved in ROTC in high school?
No, they didn't have that in my high school.
Okay. And were any of your family members in the military?
Yes, my daddy was in the Army during World War II, and then I have a brother that joined the Army about 2 years after he got out of high school.
I see. So how did you become interested in the military?
Oh, the recruiters came to the school one day and, was talking to us, and I decided I wanted to serve my country. And so I wanted to join right out of high school, but my parents didn't want me to.
Right.
So I didn't.
And you went to what was then East Texas State?
Yeah.
Right, for a period of time?
Yeah. Out of high school, I went to East Texas State University in Commerce, Texas. I went there for 3 years, and then I moved to Dallas, and I worked for a year or two, and then I transferred to UTA. I transferred to UTA because it was close to Dallas, and I could drive over here every day. Because I was working full time when I first started. I could come over here to night school.
Right.
And then after I got my financial aid, I started going full time and just working part time.
Great. So the feedback I always get is it was close and it was cheap. So does that fit?
That fits. Yeah, because when I first started, I was driving back and forth from Dallas over here, and then I moved to Arlington.
And you participated in ROTC at UTA. Tell me a little bit about how you became involved in ROTC at UTA.
Well, when I started going to school here, and I saw the cadets on campus, I saw them rappelling down the side of the wall on campus, and I said, "Oh, that looks fun." And I thought about it. I said, "I always wanted to be in the military, so I'm gonna see about joining UTA, the Corps of Cadets." And so I did, and they let me join. So that's how I got in the Corps.
So what was your major, and why did you choose this particular major?
I majored in business administration with a concentration in management. I chose it. Well, I was I started out in business education, but they didn't have that major here. So business administration was the closest to it.
I see.
So, and that's why I majored in business administration.
Was there anyone on the faculty who influenced you?
You know, it's been so long, I don't remember the professor's name, but I had a couple of good professors. And, yeah, I learned several things from them.
What year did you graduate from UTA?
August 1978, I graduated then.
And you were commissioned at that time?
No, because since I got in ROTC late, I had it one more year to go in ROTC, so I was commissioned in July 1979.
I see. And what was your branch and specialty?
Well, originally I was commissioned into the Signal Corps, but I couldn't go to the OBC, Officer Basic Course then, so I transferred over to the Ordnance Branch.
I see.
So when I went to Officer Basic Course, it was for the Ordnance Branch in Aberdeen Proving Grounds in Maryland. So it was 135 days on active duty.
And what was that experience like for you, coming out of college and going into Army training?
Oh, it was different. But it was like, you know, a continuation of school.
Okay.
Because, you know, you was in class, you work up first thing and you go exercise.
Right.
Go run 2 miles, 3 miles, and all the other exercise. And then you go home and shower and go to class.
Right.
So it's kind of like college, you in class all day.
So it wasn't that much different for you then.
Right.
And what was your first assignment after training?
223rd Maintenance Company in Fort Worth.
Okay. And you were in the reserve?
U.S. Army Reserves.
Right.
They have a reserve unit over there.
Okay.
And I drill over there on the weekend. I would go over there.
And what were your duties during that time?
I was the supply platoon leader, and then I had extra duties as the weight control officer, and I can't remember all my extra duties, but yeah, I had several extra duties, and then I advanced to the XO of the unit.
I see. Okay. And did you feel adequately prepared for that once you left school and then left your Army training and went to your first reserve assignment? Did you feel adequately prepared for that?
Yes, I did.
And were you deployed overseas at any time?
No, I didn't go overseas. I had a chance to go. Saudi Arabia, Desert Storm.
Yes.
But it was voluntary then,
Yeah.
and my children didn't want me to go, so I decided not to go. Kind of regret that. I wish I had went, but I didn't go.
Well, I went for a minute and it was hot, so.
It was hot.
Tell people I'm going to get my Purple Heart for my sunburn. That's what I tell them. That's about all I got. While you were in the military, was there anybody that you lost that was close to you?
In the military? No, like I was, we drilled for 2 weeks in the summertime on different Army bases. Like I went to Red River Army Depot, went to Sacramento Army Depot, but we didn't lose any soldiers while we was there.
Great.
Some of the soldiers, had nervous breakdown when I was in Sacramento, but we transferred them to Army hospital out there, but we didn't have any fatalities.
And as the weight control officer, I'm sure you were really popular.
Oh yeah, because it was you had to counsel the soldiers on their weight, and if they didn't lose the weight, get within the weight, they couldn't re-enlist. For they couldn't re-enlist it for the enlisted. So it was a thing back then.
Right, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Where were you married, and were you married in a relationship when you served?
Yes. I was married. We married September 1st, 1979.
Okay.
After I was commissioned. Yeah, we started dating a year before here at UTA. We met in ROTC because we had lab together.
I see.
You take ROTC military science courses, and then you have a military science lab. And I think I met him in lab because he was already in ROTC when I joined ROTC. So, and then one day I was walking down the hall of the military science department, and the secretary came and got me and said, I had a phone call. I said, I have a phone call. I said, okay. And I went in there, and it was Larry on the phone wanting to ask me out to go to a Jody dinner. And that was our first date.
Is that right?
Yeah, that's right.
And you agreed?
Yeah, I agreed.
Okay. You didn't hold him off because you knew him in lab?
Yes.
Okay. Well, fair enough. How did you deal with stress while you were in school and while you were in the military?
I guess to go exercise and maybe, talk to a friend or two. But that's how I did.
Was there a lot of stress involved in your job?
It was a little bit because being a woman and, you over majority men, and, it's hard to communicate.
Sure.
Well, some men don't want to listen. I'll put it like that.
I understand.
So, and it's fine line, but got to be not too hard or too soft.
Right.
So, but, we worked it through.
Good.
I had some good sergeants under me.
And how long did you serve?
14 years. Yeah.
And what was your civilian job during this time?
I worked for the United States Postal Service. And, well, I guess when my first job was Johnson & Johnson. And so I left there when I went to officer basic course. And then eventually I started working for the United States Postal Service.
I see. And how long did you work for the Postal Service?
29 years.
Oh, my. So you retired from the Postal Service then?
Right, I retired from them.
So you were probably more stressed out with the Postal Service than you were with your Army job, right?
Right. Yeah.
A lot of stress in the post office from what I understand.
Yeah, it could be stressful.
What was your rank when you left the service?
I was a captain.
Okay. And were you awarded any medals or citations during that time?
I got a sharpshooter medal for shooting I think it was a .45 pistol. Yeah. And I shot that in M16.
Right.
So I got a sharpshooter award for that.
Are there any specific experiences or people that you remember either at UTA or in your military career that come to mind? Other than your husband, obviously.
Yeah, I remember a couple of, good sergeants that worked for me on there. I still keep in contact with them, and I talked to one right after Christmas, and he was saying when COVID, lighten up, maybe we'll get together
Right.
with some of the other guys.
Right.
and, go to lunch, you know.
Yeah. Did you experience any discrimination while you were at UTA or while you were in the military?
Well, I think I've experienced a little bit of discrimination. Well, maybe more, but sexist because you're a woman in the military.
I see.
But it wasn't too bad, But you just have to learn how to deal with it.
You don't feel like this hindered your career in any way?
No, I don't feel like it hindered my career in the military because as long as you meet all the educational requirements, you got promoted in the military.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, it wasn't dependent on, that much on evaluations.
Mm-hmm.
Is whether you met the educational requirements.
I see.
Mm-hmm.
So is there anything that reminds you of your service? Any music or sounds or sights or smells, anything like that that reminds you of either your time at UTA or your time in the service?
Well, when you go out in the park, we still have our farm, and it reminds me when we used to go out in the woods for training.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that comes back to me, and how to read the terrain.
Right.
So, I remember that.
Do you impress your family and friends with your ability to read the terrain?
Nah, well, I think they're a little bit impressed.
Good.
Yeah.
Are you involved with any veterans organizations?
No, not right now. I said I was going to get involved with the DAV, but I hadn't had the time right now.
Right.
But I'm going to maybe make time.
But y'all are active with the Cadet Corps Alumni Council, is that correct?
Yes.
And y'all have been, or y'all are to be inducted into the UTA Hall of Honor. Tell me a little bit about that experience. How did you feel about that? How did you find out about it?
Well, I was kind of surprised. Larry always kept in contact with the Cadet Corps, and more than I did, and he was very active with them, and he was saying that we got selected. Well, first he said they sent us the application and we filled out, and then
and somebody has to nominate you, right?
Yeah, somebody nominated us.
Do you know who nominated you?
No, I don't know who nominated me.
Oh, that's interesting. And y'all are the first couple to be
Nominated.
Inducted into, well, even probably even nominated. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
So that's quite an outstanding achievement.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting it, but it's a nice honor.
Yes. Would you serve all over? If you could do it all over again, would you do it the way you did it?
Well, if I would serve all over again, but I would go on active duty. That's what I originally wanted to do.
Right.
But because I got married and had kids, I didn't do it. But
Right.
Other than that, I would do it all over again.
And how often do you return to campus?
I used to come out here every now and then. Would take a continuing education course, but I hadn't been out here. I guess every time they have a function that I see that I want to come to, I'll come. Like they used to have, ports of somebody. Like I saw Maya Angelou one year, and she spoke over at Texas Hall here on campus. If they have a speaker that I'm interested in, I'll come see it.
What do you think of the changes that have come about since you left UTA?
I like it. It's nice buildings, new buildings, a lot of improvement. So I like it. It's growing.
Yeah, it really is. And what advice do you have for young people entering the military?
Set your goals and work towards your goals, and don't let other people dissuade you from what you want to do.
That's good advice. Is there anything that you would like to add to this interview that I have not covered?
No, I'm just happy to be here, and I'm happy that I was interviewed, and I hope it helps someone.
Yes, I'm sure it will. And thank you so much for interviewing. We thank you for your service. It's a pleasure having you here, and congratulations on your induction into the Hall of Honor. That's quite a group of people you're joining
Yeah.
in the Hall. So congratulations for that.
Thank
you
you.
very much.